Hey, here I am. Now, I so rarely do this. And I know people do it as like an effect, but I just wanted to put on a smidge of makeup. So, boop, 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 and boop, 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 boop. Okay? I just did that. Hopefully nobody caught me being all makeup-y and stuff. There we go. I don't know. It may not look different to you, but it feels better to me. And isn't that why we're all here? Hey, Natasha and Shirley, Natasha and Deb and Karen and Linda and Pirate Kent and Amy and Jeannie, German Maid 95. I love it, people. Yay. Good morning. And Kelly and yay. Whole bunches of people are showing up. So, yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. The weather is unseasonably awesome where I am today. I'm in Pennsylvania, where I mostly am. I'm not all the time because I like to travel. Sorry, I'm just trying to... There we go. And I got the window open a little bit. It's kind of good. I'm feeling good. It's Friday. Did some coaching. All sorts of things. I believe, here we go. Thank you. You want to say hey? Hello. That guy. He was kind enough to make me a little cup of tea. Ooh, a little cup of tea. Miss Crentis, nice to see you. Here we go. Oh, that's so much better. I feel like I just cleaned my glasses by just bumping up the font size on this stuff, right? Oh, Call Me Pat is saying it's the weekend, so pouring rain here in NY. Yeah, I will say I am going to be not here in PA for the weekend. I will be elsewhere, and where I'm going, I heard it's supposed to rain too. But I have a story about that. You guys, I want to share a story as we are here for the next hour. I want to do a couple things. I would like to talk a little bit about stored clutter because I have it written down somewhere that I promised I would do that. And I am good with my promises to myself and to others, including you. But I also have a couple of stories that I would love to share with you about my own journey. Oh my God, that sounds even too life coachy. Oh, my own journey through self-discovery. Me doing my own clothing decluttering and things that are coming up for me as a legit professional, but also as a human being, a woman, whoever I am on the planet right now, and some things that came up with me with my clothing decluttering that I want to share with you to remind you you're not alone, and also to give you some tips and tricks so you can navigate those waters like I did, okay? So you're welcome. Yeah, hey, husband. Elizabeth saying, so excited you talked about the topic today. Thank you for remembering. You're welcome. I know how important it is to me when people remember things and, follow up on their follow-ups and just stuff like that. So couple of things I would love to share with all of you all. Now, before I do jump into that though, I realize I might be being a bit impolite because some of you may know me as Beth, Destination Decluttered. I'm a decluttering life coach. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to get that out of the way. Hey, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and I would love for you to just remember Destination Decluttered. Okay? Notice I'm pointing to this little kind of heart thing here at the other side of these two little dots behind me. Those of you who are just listening who realize that when I pop on, it's your kind of Pavlov's puppy to just get up and start decluttering. I'm just pointing at the two, like the kind of the road trip behind me that kind of literally and metaphorically runs through all of my coaching. And what I want to offer is this. Taking some time to figure out what you want your home and life to look, feel, and function like is the best time spent ever. Because when you know what you're aiming for, you're more likely to get it. You also know what you're not aiming for, so you can easily say no to that. Okay, now a couple things just in this kind of like welcome, and here I am. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok. If you have friends who are cluttered, but they're like, I don't do the TikTok. I do show up and repost some of my videos on Instagram and Facebook, but I don't do the lives like I do here on TikTok. TikTok's my favorite, so I show up for you guys the most. The other thing is too, just really quickly, speaking of lives and TikTok, is if you're just kind of finding me today, you're like, oh, that sounds really interesting, but I gotta go, I'm doing something. I gotcha. This wasn't even an idea of mine. This is something that somebody who very early on when I started doing TikTok lives about 6 months ago said, hey, do you ever record these so people can watch them later? Now that never occurred to my brain, but that's okay. I'm not here for my brain, I'm here for yours. So what I do is I download the file from my TikTok lives, and then I upload them. Notice I'm going down and then I'm going up. This is how I coach. And then I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So here on TikTok, on YouTube, there's that. I've got a mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. I love it because you promised me you're not a robot, which is good because I don't, I always want to say, like, I don't train monkeys, I just sell them, or whatever the Pee-wee quote is. I don't coach robots. I only coach human beings, and I treat you like a human being with energy or lack thereof, with motivation or lack thereof, with direction or lack thereof. That's why I'm here. And then the last thing too is when I mentioned coaching, one-on-one coaching is my main favorite thing. That's my paid stuff, 10-week program, once a week on Zoom. We do all that stuff. Okay. So all of that kind of front loaded it. So then we can hop on to what we're doing. While we do that, I'm just going to take a sip of tea. Okay. Let me just do this. Oh, it's hot. He hottened my cup. All right. So I see a couple of things right here. I love it. Danny's Mess says, even though I'm ADHD, knowing about your brain means you can work with it as opposed to against it. Knowing I'm ADHD, I have to take donations straight to the car, other items straight to where they go. If that gets you the result you want in the time you want, I say rock on. Do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you have processes that work for you, keep on doing them. But if they don't work for you, I will just say, if that gets it done, but it also takes way longer, or you get distracted, or you run out of energy, then just examine that, because you can always change your habits. You can always change your processes. Okay. Terry's saying, I moved the clutter from my bedroom to the hall. Room cleaned, but now I'm stuck. Of course, because moving it is a decision. Moving your clutter from the bedroom to the hallway is a decision, because I would like to think that you said these items don't belong in the bedroom. They don't live in the bedroom. They live elsewhere. But they probably don't live in the hallway too. Now, this is really funny because literally just yesterday I was coaching a client and we were talking about stuff in the hallway that needed to go elsewhere. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And pardon me, my feet were getting cold, so I'm putting on my socks. All right. There you go. I moved my mess multiple times. Never is order. My husband says I'm not getting rid of stuff, just moving it. Yeah, Ruth, Lady V, Melissa, whomever. Where is it? Terry, everybody. That's because you're just kind of, here's the deal with decluttering. I'll be honest with you. It's as simple as this. Decluttering is decision making. Decluttering is saying, what is this thing? Where do I want it? That's a decision. It's kind of like when I worked in corporate America and it was like a little flow chart, Do I want this? Yes or no. If I want it, yes, where does it go? Another decision point. If I don't want it, where does it go? So notice that when you're moving it, you kind of, it may make your place look temporarily neater, but it really doesn't solve the problem. Solving of the problem is taking the time to make the decisions. And the decisions aren't that, some decisions are going to be easier to make than others. Some decisions, when I say easier, some decisions will take less effort and energy to get to the point where the decision feels right to you. Other ones will take more energy to get to the decision that feels right to you. But notice when I'm saying that it feels right to you, this is how I coach. This is why I do what I do, is I want you to feel better in your life about how your home looks. I want you to feel better. When you feel better, you're going to do better. And not just with decluttering, but with your whole life. Okay, so just notice the avoidance of decision making. And that's okay, because decision making is a skill. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And especially when you're always asking decisions about what do I want, what's going to make me feel better, that's inevitably going to make many other people feel better too, because you're going to know yourself better. Now, let me just get into a couple of the things that I know are going to help everybody who has stored clutter. And stored clutter is the stuff that I like to say. This is almost like if I was coaching, this would be where you're taking your notes. I'm basically coaching you for free right now. This is my free offer. Stored clutter is the second level of clutter in decluttering. We've got surface clutter, which is just kind of that stuff that just isn't where it's supposed to go on your horizontal surfaces. Stored clutter, and then sentimental clutter. So stored clutter is what we'll spend some time talking about today. Stored clutter. Notice how, here's a thing that might help you remember it too, because it helps me to remember it, especially where my Boston accent kind of creeps in, is there's going to be a lot of rhyming here. Usually I do, I always forget what those are called, alliterations, where it's the same numbers, Dunkin' Donuts, Retro Roadmap, Destination Decluttered. surface, stored, sentimental. So sometimes I do that to help me remember. The other one is rhyming. So stored clutter. It's the stuff that's in a drawer. See what I did there? Or behind a door, a closet, a cabinet, a kitchen drawer, a bureau drawer. Stored, drawer, door. And you open the door and you say, do I want this or do I want to give it away? Notice those things to help you remember what stored clutter is. Now, another heavy hitter that's going to help you deal with your stored clutter is a little bit at a time. Do not try to do it all. Don't say, I need to empty out my whole refrigerator. No, chunking it down, a shelf at a time, a drawer at a time, an interval of time at a time. I'm going to work on this drawer, this one drawer for 15 minutes. Do not overwhelm yourself with too much. Little chunks work better than trying to do the big thing. The other thing is, you got to sort it before you store it. So you got to look through to see what you have. And in order to do that, when you sort something, the way it goes for me anyway, is you dump it out, the one drawer, and then you spread it out so that you can see what you have. You put like items together. You categorize them. Look at me. I quit. I don't know if anybody gets that reference, but it cracks me up. Is you got to sort it before you store it. And in order to sort it, you need to spread it out. However, knowing that, here's another wonderful mantra, like kind of embroidered onto the pillow of the couch of stored clutter, is it's going to look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. So when it looks temporarily worse, and it will look temporarily worse when you've got that one drawer of stuff is kind of spread out for you to look at it, just know this is okay. This is part of the process. What I need to do now that I have it is make some decisions and take some actions and decide, does this go back in the drawer? Does it go someplace else that's a better place for it, that my brain would look for it if it's there? Or do I not need it and I can put it in a box or a bag to donate or throw away, whatever. And then, please, oh please, always remember to factor in time to get that spread out stuff back together, so you're not leaving the mess out there so it says, oh, now it looks worse than when I started. Okay, I'm telling you, those three things, those whatever many things I said right there about stored clutter, they're going to help you totally. The other thing too is, notice the do I want it or not is what we're here to talk about. This is the what do I like to call it, the traffic light, the traffic signals in your body. The stuff that you don't know if you want or keep is yellow light in the middle. You don't know if you should blast forward or hang back, like if you were in traffic. And you do that because you've got a little bit of tension between what your body is telling you and what your brain is telling you. There's a little bit of a debate going on, and you're kind of in the middle of that debate. When your body and your mind are aligned, they're either telling you, hell yeah, keep that, or hell no, get rid of it. When they are in discord, when they're like, no, how about this? How about that? That's when the stress and confusion and just, anxiety, whatever you want to call it, all those words seem too big, but there's something there that, makes you not want to declutter. Okay. All right. So those are a few heavy hitters for stored clutter. I'm going to jump in right now to these questions to see how I can help those. But if you have any questions about stored clutter, let me know. Okay. Ta-ta! Yes, Spencer! Yes, you got it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie transformed my life, and I'm not even kidding it. Anastasia, thank you about my earrings. So my earrings, the ones I normally wear, I broke. A friend of mine made them for me, and she's going through a time now, so I'm not going to ask her to fix it. These ones are another friend made for me. They're made out of, I don't know if you guys can see it, they're made out of upcycled guitar strings. I have also the ones that are like the 3 loops. Those are more for like going out, like dancing, like, 60s groovy girl and the, whatever. But yeah, I think these are pretty fun. Thank you. All right, let me back up here and make sure that I'm getting all the questions. What do we have? There we go. Katie says, I'm so glad I found you. I need help bad. Here I am. I'm here. I do the TikTok lives. There's videos. I get a mailing list. I do coaching. I do workshops just for the people on the mailing list, though. So I'm here. There's help. If you're struggling with clutter, I can help you. I say that, and yet I will say this. There are some people whose clutter is bigger than I can handle. And I'm kind of saying that in a hoarder way, but I say that more as everybody. Everybody's clutter is a result of thoughts and feelings about stuff. And sometimes the thoughts are things that are out of my league. I am a certified life coach, but I am not a mental health professional. I just say this to people, they're like, everything I can do, everything I offer can help anybody. But if you are stuck and you can't do it and you've got a lot more stuff behind the stuff up here with your life, I just want you to know that there is help out there even for what you are struggling with. Now, if you are hoping that if you got on a consultation with me to do one-on-one coaching, that's why we do a consultation, to ensure that what I do, my expertise, matches your level of clutter. And I've got tons of clients, so I know that that's true. But there are some people out there who struggle with it a lot more, and there's a lot more reasons why the clutter is there. And I'll be honest with you, I know when I'm out of my league, and I honor that. I am always getting better as a coach, and that's why my rates go up, because people get a better coach every time I show up. But I want to offer is that there are some problems out there that are better helped by a mental health professional. So if you think, oh my gosh, I've got this trauma, this comes from this traumatic, thing in my life, that's where kind of hoarding comes into. There is help out there for that, okay? But I help tons of people all the time with clutter that's just, I've got this stuff and I just never learned, or it's bugging me, but I know I can do it if I am kind of eager and motivated, and I promise myself I'll do this stuff, okay? So just wanted to mention that, okay. Whoops, I just booped in by everybody. And Anastasia says, I used this little chunks raking leaves today, thinking about decluttering the whole time. Yeah, raking is kind of like decluttering your lawn, right? And I need to do that a little bit at a time too, because I get exhausted. And when I look at sometimes, like especially more so in the spring for us, when all of our neighbors' oak leaves go into our yucca plants, and I'm just like, oh my God, I have to do all this. I chunk it down myself. I'll set my timer for a half an hour. I'll do a half an hour. Then I'll take a break. Then I'll go back. Little chunks help you just the main function of the chunking is to help you show up to start. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Katie, I love that you agreed with Jen. When Jen said, hard to give yourself permission to let go. And Katie said, I agree, but I'm getting better every day. Getting stronger every day. I'm a Gen Xer, so I always have music, and I'm married to a musician, and I come from a music-loving family. I always have a song running through my head. My dad used to do that when we were in the car. He would annoy us. He'd be like, give me a song, give me a word, and I can sing a song about it. He didn't have the best voice, but boy, did he love singing. That runs in the family. I don't have the best voice, but boy, do I enjoy singing. Okay? So here's the thing. Give yourself permission to let go of the stuff that bums you out. Give yourself permission to let go of the stuff that does not turns on your heart light. See what I did there? The stuff that doesn't do it for you, that's okay. Knowing the stuff that doesn't do it for you, it's like, you know what? That might do it for somebody else. When you say, this thing that I have doesn't do it for me, but I choose to believe there's somebody else out in the world that will freaking love this thing, that's when it makes it fun to donate stuff. Or maybe it did something for you at one point and now it doesn't. I've got some clothing that today I'm going to bring down to a vintage store in my town because it does something for me. There's this one jacket I have had literally since like 1980 something. I thrifted it. It was a 60s jacket back in the 80s. It's still a 60s jacket. And off and on, I have worn it throughout the years. I love it. I think it's so freaking cool. I don't fit into it anymore. And that's okay. Because I know, and especially now before Halloween, that there's going to be somebody who's going to look freaking awesome in that. Not just on Halloween, but maybe when they go out, out on the town. Give yourself permission. Allow yourself to live a life that aligns with who you are now and who you want to be in the future. Okay? I want to be comfortable in my clothes. I want to be comfortable in my body. Ba, ba, ba. That's the big one. And so me reminding myself that I can't fit into those clothes, they just bum me out. So just notice that. Give yourself permission, people. There we go. Yep, addressing small chunks. You guys, I don't come out here to, I only seriously share the stuff I know for a stone cold fact works. And chunking stuff down, it decreases the overwhelm, right? Overwhelmed, chunking it down. I can do 5 minutes of that. I can show up. I was at Pilates this morning. I don't know if my teacher's on. She probably isn't. And there are parts of that, my class, that are challenging. But I'm always like, you know what? This chunk only lasts for a little bit. I will do it every time I get up to that. I'm like, oh my God, we have to do this. I can't do this. And I do it. And I remind myself I do it. And then that chunk is over. There we go. Tammy is saying, so I will be moving to second home within a few years. In narrowing down duplicate items to keep. Idea? Yeah. Pick your favorite. Pick the one that works the best. We all have. Here's one of the things about decision making. Again, it's pinging it against what's your favorite. You probably pick out your favorites organically. Your body may do this without your brain even recognizing it. Think about it. And again, I'll go back to stored clutter. If you open a door to your closet where your clothes are, and you say, I need to put on a hoodie, and you've got 10 of them to choose from, I bet there's one that you don't even think about. You don't even think about it. You just pull the ones that's your favorite. For whatever reason, it's your favorite. There's another one that you say, nope, I don't want that. Notice how you also know that that one's not your favorite. And what I say with the favorites part of it, that is a paying attention to the ones you organically are drawn towards, also makes you question the other ones. Why am I not grabbing towards that one? If you guys see me, I am pretty much every single day either wearing a black long sleeve t-shirt when it's cold out or a black short sleeve t-shirt. I have black hoodies. It's just my jam. I enjoy it. I don't have to think about what I wear, and my body is covered and uncomfortable. However, even within my t-shirts, I've bought them at different times. They're different styles. They're different, like whatever Target had on sale. I bought a bunch of $5 ones. Like, I'm not fussy, and I wear them, but there are some that fit better, that feel better, that if I have my choice, I would be like, yes, kind of spreading them all out, saying those are my favorites, that one not so much, that one's faded, that one's too short, that one's too, you know what I mean? Kind of like Goldilocks, picking out your favorites. Okay, so just notice that. Tammy, pick out your favorite things. I love that you're saying moving to a second home. Imagine, this is the destination. What do you want your home to look and feel and function like? And the neat thing is you're starting from a blank slate with the second home. So you can furnish it in your head with nothing but the best. Nothing but the best for you. And what I mean the best for you is the stuff that makes you light up like a Christmas tree. I love this knife because it cuts really well. This is my favorite spatula. These are my favorite drinking glasses. I like these wine glasses better than those wine glasses that I have. Maybe I'll just bring these favorite ones and allow the other ones to be donated so I don't bring them to my home. The other thing too is when you do this, when you pack to furnish your future home, it's going to be a best guess effort because you don't know what your home is going to be like until you're in it. So just know, again, this is part of the process, everybody, when you move into a new place, you may have probably brought too much stuff. Be okay with that. Figure out how it feels to live in your new space and then see what stuff you brought that you're just not using. Okay? So Beth, I am also a Beth, and I am also sorting clothes. Weight fluctuations make me keep more than I want. Now let me ask you this. Weight fluctuations. Is it just that to me, sometimes there's sizes, that it's like I physically cannot wear this and be comfortable in it. The waistline, I can't, my pants are going like this, or I go like this and I try to put on the coat and it gets stuck like this, or it doesn't, even if I can put it on, then I can't move into it. Ask yourself, do you want to change the size? Do you want to do the things to change the size of your body so you fit into that clothing? That to me is where that's really at. And I have come to the terms with myself where there's some stuff I just don't want to do, because it seems like a lot of work for just the fact that I would fit into a smaller size of jeans or something. Okay? Be cool with who you are now. And if you want to save that, if you're like, no, I really, 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 really want to get to that other size, cool, honest, awesome. Allow yourself to become that person. But in the meantime, get those clothes that you currently don't fit into out of circulation and put them away in a tote. Put that size of clothing away, get them out of circulation because they're just getting in the way of the clothes you wear every day. Put a date on it. I told somebody, who was it, like to put a post-it note. These were put away on, October 20th. It's so funny. I should probably have a calendar up here, but I don't. I'm always looking at my computer here. Talk about a habit. I put these away on October 20th. I'm going to give myself until, 6 months. So that'll be like November 20th, December, January, February, March, April 20th. I'm going to give myself 6 months, and then I'm going to say, do I fit into these again? And if I don't fit into them by March or April, or however long you think it might take you to change the size of your body, then reconsider, do I actually want to fit into these, or is it time for me to let these go? I will say this, if in the future, if you do decide to change your body and it does work, you can always buy a new, outfit or something. So just notice that. That's funny. Gigi Gina says, I just had a company and I have an abundance of Doom bags and bins. My house looks great though, but it looks good on the surface, but not in the stored clutter. I was going to say, am I right? But I know I'm right because I've been there. I live in a family of Doom boxes, more like Doom trays, like taking those trays, those trays that are basically the flats that produce comes into at Costco. And that's a good tray, that's a good box, and bringing it home and then piling all your papers in it. Hello, family I grew up with. And they can't say anything because they're like, guilty as charged. I've done it myself. I've learned to limit my trays because I will start doing that myself and think I've done something with it. So Gigi Gina, notice that and be okay with it. You put it all away because people came over. Now they're gone. How about counting the Doom bags and bins? Specificity is your friend. On the flip side of that, same verse, second verse, same as the first. Overwhelm thrives in ambiguity. So specificity, notice the opposites. I'm always playing with opposites. Specificity is your friend. So I say this, even as a starting point, you could say, how many Doom bags and bins did I create prior to the people coming over? Oh, look, I have 14. And then you could say to yourself, okay, I'm going to allot myself a half an hour today or whenever, half an hour, specific time on a certain day, on Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, a half an hour to go through one of those totes or bags. Could you do that? I mean, you kind of know the stuff in it. Then you dump it out. Again, it's stored. You got to sort it before you sort it before you store it. Spread it out, categorize it, decide what you want, decide where it goes. Boom. You just were able to overcome the overwhelm of all of it and say, I may have temporarily put those things that way, but now I'm going to put them back the right way. Okay? Specificity is your buddy. I love being specifics because the delight is in the details. The details get you closer than ever before to what you want, because the more you hone in on the little subtle things that are going to make a difference to you, the more your life starts to rock in those little ways. Okay? What do we have here? I almost had the I Dream of Jeannie song going through my head while I was scrolling here. I will not sing it for you, but any of those people of my gen, it's probably now in your head too, right? Okay. All right, what do we have here? I'm backing up. My everyday items stay out, but if someone comes over, I want to hide it. Do I leave a drawer empty? Sure, if you want. But ask yourself, if you like the fact that you notice that you want to hide it. When we hide things, we're afraid that we're going to get in trouble. We're afraid we're going to be judged and come up lacking. So if you feel good about your everyday items are staying out, keep them out. If it's good for you, it's good for them. But notice, if you don't like the way they're looking, maybe find a better place for them. Now, here's the thing I want to offer, especially to my ADHD people or people who identify with ADHD. I am on your side like nobody's business. I know what it's like. But what I want to suggest is, I just want to plant this seed, is think about when there's often in the ADHD community that I need to keep it all out because of that, kind of, what's that crappy phrase like that I can't think of the proper word I'm thinking of, but that old chestnut of out of sight, out of mind. Now, I say that is true more so when you've just, without thought, thrown something somewhere. But I would love all of my ADHD people who believe the thought, out of sight, out of mind, ergo, I need to keep everything out all the time. Look for evidence in your life where there are things that are out of sight and not out of mind. And again, this goes back to stored clutter. maybe your silverware drawer, maybe where you put your some of your toiletries. What's in, like, if you just looked at a drawer, like maybe like me right now, I'm pointing right here to one of these train cases. I know what's in those without opening them up. That one has earrings in it. Actually, it's funny. I don't know what that one has. Bracelets. Another one's got my cords and stuff. Another one has my it got some cassette tapes in it. But I know what those things are because I put them there strategically. Okay. Notice why you want to hide stuff. And there's a thought behind that makes you feel a feeling, that makes you do a thing. I have a thought that makes me feel like I need to go hide that stuff. Okay. Jill, here, I'm going to offer this to you. Jill is saying, I'm not really sure how to decide on what to get rid of. Like, there's a block in my brain. Okay, there's a block in your brain. Here, take that block. Just put it aside. And here, when that block is not there, let me talk to your brain. And I would love your brain and your body to have a little conversation. Because sometimes up here is where it can be jammed up. Don't ask your brain. Don't ask your brain. Ask your body. Ask your body, do I want this or not? And see where the signal comes from. Does it come from your heart? Is it a green light in your heart? I love that. Want to keep it. I would never get rid. I really like that. That's a thing. I like it. Is it down here, kind of in the digestive area in the lower portion of the show, as I'm trying to be very non-scatological? Is your body saying, no, I don't even want that. That's trash. Nope, I can get rid of that, no problem. Kind of like poop, okay? Our body does this every day. Our body, without even asking your brain, gets rid of the stuff it doesn't want. So listen to your body. It knows what's best for you. It doesn't hang on to the stuff it doesn't want. Or is it, your body's telling you one thing, but your brain is like, wait, thought, making you hang on to something. So check in with your body before you even ask your brain and see what comes up. That might help you. Trust your gut. They say trust your gut. Trust your facial expressions. I know this because I coach people one-on-one on Zoom all the time, and I know the answer to their question long before they can even articulate it into words, because they were like, or ooh, I like that. Okay, notice that. And then decision fatigue. Yes, decision fatigue is a real thing. So make fewer decisions, but get used to making decisions so that you build up your decision muscle so it gets fatigued less. Okay, notice that. What else do we say here? What do you do with DVDs? Salvation Army or Goodwill no longer accepting. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know. Let me think. Well, sadly, I will start with the worst case scenario. They may need to go into a trash bag. They may. But how about this? Before they get into a trash bag, do you have any creative people in your area? Now, I am lucky enough to live in a town that I freaking love, and we have a lot of creative people, and I bet there's somebody out there who may be doing some really creative things with DVDs. I know for a fact, like, this is a little bit earlier generation of I bought a movie to keep the copy of, is I have a friend who used to make notebooks out of old VHS covers and album covers. So maybe that type of thing. Google for some ideas. There are other people out there who are struggling with what to do with DVDs if the Salvation or Goodwill are no longer accepting them. Maybe there's some place that does. Maybe somebody wants to literally like flip the DVDs over and they're nice and shiny, or the CDs, and like cover their house with them. You never know, but Google your area, see what other people are doing. Okay? Notice that. Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, Ms. Laura, black is totally a Gen X thing. I wear black on the outside because black is how I feel on the inside. Anybody? Yeah, I remember that from the 80s, and it's just something that it's just so much easier to just throw on clothes. All right, Katie says, I tried to organize, but my boyfriend doesn't keep to the plan, so then it's messy again. Tips? Yeah, call him on it. Just point out with love, not judgment. Notice the difference between two. Hey, remember we said we were going to keep this place neater? Notice that those are your underpants on the floor. Could you pick them up, please? Don't try to solve it by cleaning up after somebody else. It just stops them from learning how to do it themselves. I love it. Cammie is saying, I want to make my house look like an Airbnb. I love it. Ms. Laura, your daughter gives you grief for wearing black. You know what? She doesn't have to wear it. You can wear it. You can do anything you want, despite what your daughter says. Speaking of daughters, hello, I'm a daughter as well. Jen Brown is saying my mom wants to get a second mortgage on a home and move instead of dealing with her hoard. Ooh. Notice how much money clutter is costing somebody if that's your solution to it. It can be overwhelming to have it gotten to a certain point and not know how to deal with it, so kind of want to, just lock the door and move away. I'm not saying that people don't do it, but what I will say is when you know that it's okay, when you say, I can chip away at this, I can get better at it, I can make these decisions, you're more likely to do that. But yeah, wow, Jen, that's tough. I mean, that's boku bucks right there. Maybe you can help her with this stuff, and let her know there's help out there if she wants to do it. It may seem overwhelming. I mean, my mother, I actually, again, being a daughter and decluttering, actually, honestly, helping my mother and talk about being at the epicenter of all of my own clutter issues and being able to help the person who got me cluttered, really, by teaching me how to think and act and react and all that kind of stuff. When I realized I could survive in that environment and declutter and not lose my shit, that's when I was like, oh my God, if I can do this right here at the ground zero of all of my own whatever, I can help the world. Because if I survived here, y'all are going to be cake compared to what I went through. But I say that because it can be tough when you know the stories behind things. That's probably why your mother's so overwhelmed, because she knows all the stories about her stuff, So just notice that. Okay, I love this. Jen says, I washed all my jeans, tried them all on, and only kept the ones that made me feel great that day. I got to share this with you. Guys, folks, a number of weeks ago, I started doing some specific videos about clothing decluttering, and I mentioned about, putting on the stand-up jeans as opposed to the sit-down jeans. I don't own any jeans anymore. Nope. I tried on those ones, and I was like, you know what? These just don't. They are not comfortable. And when I am not comfortable, I am cranky. We call them the cranky pants for a reason. When I'm wearing the cranky pants, I am cranky to myself. I am cranky to everybody else. It's not a good thing. So I said, you know what? I don't even want to wear jeans anymore. And if I do, I will go and buy some and a size that fits the body I have now. But after me going through my own decluttering stuff and sharing it with you and saying, wait a minute, I got to practice what I preach, I happily and without issue folded up those jeans that had been hanging out pretty much since pre-COVID and put them in a bag to donate. I'm doing some clothing donations today after I get off this TikTok live, and oh my God, it's almost 20 minutes until I'm done. If you're just tuning in, hey, Beth, Destination Decluttered. Let me give you a couple things. If you haven't liked my TikTok page, could you do that? I'm kind of I think I'm within a few of followers of turning the number of people I have. It's always kind of fun to just see the numbers go up. It's kind of like, winning the lottery. Also, if you're interested in getting the first dibs on everything I offer, which is like the coaching, the free stuff, the monthly Zoom call, we just had one this week that was awesome. Get on my mailing list. It's free. It's fun. I only send you good stuff. I only email you when there's something good. I don't get you on one of these automatic whatevers that annoy the F out of me. So like, for example, I know that before I go away this weekend, I am going to be scheduling some more consult times that are available. If you want to start coaching, because you'll have support from now until during the holidays and even after. The other thing is too, is that, what else? TikTok lives. People on the email list know when I'm doing TikTok lives before I ever post about it here on TikTok. You also get the first dibs on my coaching calendar. So all of that stuff. Okay. So just notice that. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Okay. There we go. Amber says, I just love how you say, just notice that. Yes. That point of noticing is where you have the opportunity to choose a different thing. This is where, when I'm coaching, I often talk about putting up your little traffic cop hand. Just notice that, pause, notice that, and say, now I can decide. Decision making. I can decide, because I'm not the boss of you. You can do whatever you want. I can decide from here to, with awareness, go down that paved path that leads to my clutter, or I can stop and notice and then do something different that will decrease my clutter. Notice that. There we go. All right, we got a whole bunch of things here. All right, what do we have? Backing it up. I love it. I gotta say, I say this every Ms. Prentice got my ref, right? I love it. I love it when I do these TikTok lives, because every single time while I am busy trying to talk to one person, and this is the struggle, and this is the difference between like a group coaching environment and a one-on-one. So I want to help that one person, because when I'm helping that one person, invariably I'm helping other people. But there are also the helpers in the crew here, that people just, if somebody asks a question, you're like, I'm cluttered, but I know this could be an answer. So thank you for helping each other out. It's really something that delights me to no end every time I do a TikTok live, is to see people helping people in the comments. Okay. Yeah, like all these DVD things. Catherine, thank you for the rose. That's nice. Okay. Kayla Bear is saying, I'm still tripping over my son's camping gear in the kitchen. It's been a month. Instead of putting away, most of it was moved to his cluttered room. Any suggestions? Yeah, have him put the rest of it in his cluttered room and deal with his own clutter. Okay. I say this because, seriously, you guys, one of the reasons why I was cluttered for so many decades is because I was not taught a good, easy, no big deal way of keeping decluttered. I grew up with cluttered people, with collectors, with doom bag people, with doom bin people, with collect, and then, hide it, hoard it, whatever, and not deal with it. So that's how I grew up. It was only recently, and also because of I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm a Gen Xer who grew up in the middle of like a not so great time, like when I graduated college to get a job. And also I studied art history. Oh my God. Like, it's like, hey, we're paying big bucks for art historians over here. That wasn't happening. But because I've had a lot of varied careers, I've pulled the good stuff out of every single one of them. And man, has it changed my life and allowed me to teach myself how to be less cluttered and create a home that I love and a life that I love. And it's taken me decades, but I don't want it to take you decades. I want you to benefit from my knowledge. It's like me being an auntie. I want to be like saving my nieces and nephew decades worth of stress that I went through by sharing what I've learned. I believe we call it wisdom. And I am there where it's like, man, do I freaking love so much about everything about what's going on with me that I want you to feel that way for your life too. Okay. Notice that. But I say that because I see the thing about your son and his 20. Decluttering is a life skill. It's never too late to learn it, and it is really important to learn it because it helps you be a productive, decent member of society when you know you are expected to pick up after yourself, that you are responsible for your stuff, that nobody else is going to pick it up for you. Nobody else should pick it up for you because you are an adult and you're not a kid anymore. You're not a baby. And I say this kind of very abruptly. I don't want to say this is how I coach, but I truly believe that everybody on the planet would benefit from decluttering coaching and learning how to ask those basic questions. What is this thing? Do I want it? If the answer is yes, where is a better place for me to put it than where it is now? So your son saying, do I want this camping gear? Yeah. All right. There's a better place for it than in the kitchen. Where are you going to move it? And it may seem like tough love to make somebody else do something when you've used to doing things for them. It is the best love ever because you are helping grow people's independence. They are no longer dependent on you. They are independent. And then you can be independent together. See, I am totally Gen X. I am quoting Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer all the freaking time. Okay? So just notice that. Yeah, the benefit of continuing to leave in your home. There we go. There we go. Okay, what else we have? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this community too. It's so cool. What else do we have here? Okay. My struggle is memories and price that I paid. Okay, Quilt Diva, let me help you with that. You're not the only one to struggle with that, so it's cool. Memories. Memories are, notice I'm putting my hand right here because our bodies tell us stuff. Memories live in our hearts. They don't live in our stuff. I mean, our stuff, like this mug, might remind me of something, but it's just a trigger that affects me and makes me feel feelings. Notice that. The other thing is too, I say that because the whole thing behind everybody, all of our clutter, all of our everything, is there is a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling. When you feel a feeling, you do a certain thing. But also, you've got a feeling in your body that makes you feel a certain thing. These things all work together. Treat yourself like the whole unit you are. You're not just a head and nothing else. Your body has wisdom as well as your brain. But sometimes you will notice that your brain offers up a thought, an unhelpful thought. You know it's unhelpful because it's making you hang on to stuff that you don't want to hang on to. The price I paid, I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler. It's like, I paid a lot for that. Whatever. Yeah, you did. It can be interesting to examine the thoughts behind why you're hanging on to stuff. So let me just get curious about this. Does you hanging on to something help you pay that money back? Get that money back. Now, some people do sell some of their items that they've purchased and it's worth a lot of money. I don't know what a lot of money, what the price is that makes you feel like I can't get rid of it because of how much I paid. There are different ways to release things from your life that you've paid money for. But I would just love for you to think about the price you're putting on your peace of mind. The price that you're putting on your feeling good, feeling better in your home, in your life, in your head, in your heart, in your body, feeling better with your life. Isn't that the thing that's worth the most money on the planet for you? It should be. Because when you feel better, you do better, and not just for yourself, but for everybody. So notice, you may have paid $500 for that coat. But if it's not doing it for you, and every time you look at it, you're like, can't get rid of it, it's not fitting me, but it costs a lot of money. Having that conversation in your head all the time, every single time you look at that coat, that's exhausting. Quieting down the chaos and the clutter in your head helps. Like, it's one of the wonderful primary benefits of decluttering your home is your stuff is not telling you bad stories. So notice that. And I say this out here, like your stuff is telling you bad stories, but you hear the bad stories here and you feel the bad stories here, and then you go, ugh. And who wants to feel, ugh? You want to feel, ooh, this is cool. It may seem difficult to remove items you paid money for out of your life in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to feel better. Even just practicing it and realizing you're not going to die if you get rid of that thing. If you donate it somewhere, give it to somebody, whatever. Notice that. Our fears are trying to keep us from harm, and like hurt and death. That's like our inbred thing. So notice that your brain is thinking, I am going to die if I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be hurt. So I'm going to, something bad is going to happen to me if I give away that $500 item. Now, I totally picked up 500 out of my own life, but not even own life, just on my own head, but just notice that. Okay. Here do we go? Oh, there we go. Amy Diamante. See, my daughter just put CDs up all our wall. It looks like art. Love it. How do you get motivated, says Pam Blue Eyes? How do you get motivated to get up and clean and care for something? I lost motivation in my caring. Okay, Pam, here's what I want to offer to you. When you're not excited about where you're going, that's a commute. When you're excited about where you're going and what you're doing, that's because you're excited about the destination. So when you've stopped caring, ask yourself, why don't you care? And question, why am I even doing all this stuff? If you're not psyched about the result, you're going to, So that's why I say to everybody, this is why I always go back to the basics. I love being so simple about this stuff because it makes it so approachable. Destination decluttered. Destination. A destination is someplace you're excited to get to. A destination vacation. A destination like, a road trip. That's why I'm using the road trip metaphor all the time. Notice that. If what you're doing for decluttering is like, yeah, I got to do this because I need to do it because I've been told to and I'm going to get in trouble if I don't and I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life. That doesn't make me want to show up and do it either. Makes me want to go out and shop. I don't know, like go get an ice cream, make myself feel better. When you clue into the fact that the reason you're doing this is for you and only you, so you feel better, so it looks better to you, so you get to delight and walk into, as one of my clients says, I walk into my bedroom now and I just go, and I want to hang out there all the time because it feels so good in that room. And now each one of my rooms is starting to feel like that. Every corner of my room that I look into, I go, oh, I love this. Do it for that feeling. And you typically get that feeling when your eyes look at stuff and say, just the right amount for me. That looks how I want it to look. That functions the way I want it to function. I feel better. I feel good when everything's in a place that makes sense to me. I feel good. I feel better than I do now when I can easily find my things. When I can put on my clothes for an event I have to do and it's so simple, I'm not running around frantic. Remind yourself of the destination and create your destination so that it gets a little, I say like a little spark, like a little, like when you're building a campfire, you get a little spark and you build on it. What else can I add to my destination feeling? How do I want my home and life to look and feel and function? Write that stuff down. And the more you open up that kind of faucet of possibility, ideally it's going to kindle a little spark, a little energy in you to be like, ooh, that would be cool if it looked like that. And then as soon as you get that, you use that spark to turn on your engine and get into gear and do something, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, setting your timer and doing some decluttering, okay? If you've lost your motivation, you can find it again. Notice the opposite. I lost my motivation and I feel like this. So when I find I'm going to find my motivation again to feel better. And when I find my motivation and feel better, I'm going to do better. It can be easy. I love it. Angela says, I love your lives and I listen as I work. I love it. This is what I do. And I will say, I may experiment with doing a podcast at some time, but all you need to do is not look at the screen when I'm doing a TikTok live and it's boom, instant podcast. You could probably put the videos on when this is downloaded from here and uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube page. Just put the audio on of one of the videos while you're out like driving your car around doing errands. Okay? Notice that. All right. My goodness, we only have 8 minutes left. Let me see. Let me think. Sandy saying, thank you for all these talks and encouragement. You are really helping me. Thank you for letting me know that I am helping you. Because this is a two-way street. If I was doing this and it was tumbleweeds, if it was nobody showing up, if it was quiet, I would not know if I was helping somebody. But because you tell me I am helping you, then I show up more to say, oh, good, I like doing this. Only if I know it's making a difference. Since it's making a difference, I show up more. And then when I show up more, you get helped more. See how that kind of dance goes? Actually, no, that's the hustle. That would be a single dance. It would be more like a, like the Lindy Hop or something like that. All righty. All right. Notice, Pam, what I want to offer to you. I could sister name Pam. I do not get no help. So now I have to pay people. Notice that. Notice the thoughts you have. And yeah, sometimes it's a heck of a lot easier to just pay somebody else to do something. But notice is that going to solve the problem short-term or long-term? And I will say this, because you know what? The things that feel like they are a quick fix in the short term usually just delay doing the things in the long term. Do what feels right to you, but just know that, are you putting a Band-Aid on something, or could you really just go and figure out the real stuff behind it and change it so it never it doesn't happen again? And it is one step and then the other. Okay? There we go. Can't listen and drive. I'm taking notes. Yeah, please don't listen and drive if you're taking notes. That's cool. Katie says, I'm listening to you while I work, and now I've got whistle while you work going through my head. And then there was somebody else that did something. I love it. Measured Macro says, I write your live schedule on my calendar, so I have scheduled time to declutter while I listen. Awesome. Measured Macro, then. I will tell you this because we've only got about 6 minutes. I don't know if I know I haven't put it out on TikTok, but I'll share with you. And the people on my Destination Decluttered email mailing list already know that this is happening. and I'm flipping back here because I've got a lot of stuff going on. The next Destination Decluttered TikTok Live, I think I'm only going to do one next week. This happens. This is how I roll. This is how I live. Is every week is different from the next. Every day is different from the next. And what's that? And I love it. I love it. I have never been meant to be fenced in from the get-go. I never wanted to work in a confined corporate job. I loved working retail because of the flexibility of the schedule. So I will offer this. Every day for me is different. Every week for me is different. So next week I have one TikTok Live, and I'm doing it in what I call the evening because I'm on the East Coast. And I know that there are people from the West Coast who don't get to see me at this time because it's still fairly early in the day. So next week, here, you can write this down, Measured Macros and everybody else. Next week, Wednesday, October 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be next week's TikTok Live. I will remind people of that from the Destination Decluttered email list, and I'm going to send out an email this weekend, and if I decide to do another TikTok Live, if I look at my calendar, this is how I get good stuff going, people, is because I spend some time with my calendar and my list of things to do, and I do this process called breeze blocking, which allows me to fit in all this cool stuff that I love to do and live a life that I love. And I share that process with the people on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. We've done some, like live workshops and stuff for free on Zoom. I love doing that. But I just mentioned that to you because look at your calendar. Look at your calendar. What time do you have to devote to making your life better than it is right now, going towards your destination? Okay? Notice that. Katie says I'm even early to work today, I think, because I was listening to you. I love it. Okay, the evening is 8 p.m. Eastern time is when I'm going to it. Marie Higgins is saying, I love you so much. Thank you for being you. You are awesome. Why, thank you. Thank you. It's so freaking easy. It's so much easier to try to just be, not even try. It's so much easier to just show up as who I am. And whether you like me or not, that's fine. Then try to pretend to be somebody else. I'm telling you, I was never made to be that like corporate lady with the tight suits and all that and the little headset and whatever. Nah, there's enough of those out there. I'm me. I'm the only me you got, and so I like to help the way I help. And here's the funny thing too. One of the reasons I do this is strategy, people. Strategy. It's because, authentic is the bomb. As AI continues to develop, as we have filters on TikTok, as we can Photoshop stuff, real authentic people with wrinkles and, weird eyebrows and whoever, we are now a rarity. We are a precious commodity. Unique people not trying to be something else. And I am me and what I want to do. And I remember saying this years ago to a friend of mine when we were both talking about being coaches. She's an art coach. I decided to be a decluttering coach. And I remembered saying to her at one point, and this comes back to me, and it's so great. I'm so glad, like I hung on tight to my beliefs. And I said, you know what? I swear, I just want to I want to coach people who get how I talk, who get my jokes, who get my pop culture references, because there are Gen Xers who don't know what I'm talking about. But there's a certain person who knows that I'm talking about the Smiths or, That Thing You Do or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or, categories, right? And I think that was from maybe Girl Scout camp. But this is how I coach. I show up as a real person and I treat you like the wonderful, unique person you are. I don't try to shoehorn you into something that doesn't fit you. That's the great thing about one-on-one coaching, is we work together to find a system that works for you and how your brain works. So you're not trying to be something you're not. You're saying, this is how my brain works, and if it means having a pair of scissors in the kitchen and in the bathroom and at my desk, so be it. I know whatever room I'm in, if I need scissors, I find them, I use them, I put them away. Boom. So there we go. Mama Kimbo just said, I just dropped off 6 bags and 5 boxes to the Epilepsy Foundation, feeling so much lighter. Rock on. I love that. I'm giving your high fives right back to you, okay? Marie says, you are my people. There we go. Yeah, you're an elder millennial. I'm an elder Gen Xer. So yeah, the Smiths were Here's the funny thing, I will say, I loved the Smiths, but I listened to them too much in my early 20s when I should have been listening to more punk rock, because I got into this whole maudlin, I'm so unlovable thing that did not serve me well. But when I decided I was lovable, man, my life has changed and it's been awesome. All right. Thank you. Now I notice some people are just joining this live, and I hate to say hey and then bye, but I just started it about an hour ago and I need to sign off now, because I've got stuff to do. I also am going to go donate some clothing that I wore. Oh, I forgot to tell my stories about donating clothing. Two things. One is find a place that feels good to you to donate it. Second of all is, this is the down and dirty. When you donate clothing that no longer fits you, because in my case, because it's too small, you may realize that you've donated something that now you don't have. For example, I donated a jacket that didn't fit me, therefore I need a jacket. I went out to buy a jacket. I tried one on in the size that I thought I was, just that letter in the back. It didn't fit me. It was too small. I had to try on a large. Ah! Notice how we all have feelings about a stupid letter embroidered in the back of a piece of clothing. No, you're not the only one. Allow yourself to sit with it and say, do I want to be comfortable, even if it says there's an L in the back of this jacket? As a decluttering life coach, as somebody who encourages people and helps people declutter their clothing, I know it isn't easy to go through these. What does it mean if I went from an S to an M and now I'm an L? And L's usually, there's so much drama. I want to say sociological things about body size as women. Take all that into account, but here's what I want to leave you with. Love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you take your power back from people that may judge you, including your internal unhelpfulness. And when you have power, you can do awesome things in the world. Okay? Yeah. Hi, bye for now. I have to go. And I want to say, I'm going to sign off because I am bringing stuff away to donate it. I have some coaching to do. I have some emails to send out. Again, I'll just give a last gasp. Was that the breeders? If you want to get on my mailing list, it's free, wicked easy, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Sending out an email this week letting you know when consultations are going. A couple of other fun things. I keep them short and sweet. They're all directly from me. They're not like a template or anything, so there may be some typos in it. But I am a real person, and I treat you like a real person when I coach too. So always a pleasure to see everybody. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your life, and how about this? As I drive your life in the direction of your dreams. That's what I'm going to do, okay? Always a pleasure, folks. I will see you next week, all right?